Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. My name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. This is a live stream coming at you at what? It's Wednesday the 27th of December. A couple of days after Christmas or whatever. One day after Boxing Day. Hope everybody had a great holiday. I'm just here because I was trying to make a video and I dropped my camera and I broke the lens, so now I'm using my other camera to do this live stream and see how things go. So let's see if anybody shows up. Hope everybody's doing okay. Random stuff. Yes. How's it going, my friend? Oh, I'm just hanging out here, doing my thing, breaking stuff, screwing up. Yeah. What's up? JJJJ24 and Dimitri and Igor. Thanks for being here, you guys. Thanks for stopping in and checking out the live stream. I don't have hey, how you doing? Yes, random stuff. Ask me a question. That's what I'm here for. What is your question? Hey, Krista, how you doing? What's everybody into this fine couple of days after Christmas? Me, I'm just hanging out. I did not have any burn-in on the iPhone 10, random stuff, and man, I've been through the ringer with the phones. I've got a video coming soon on what is my daily driver, and I'm tempted to give it away right now, but I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to. Hold on, I'm trying to tweet about this thing here. See if I can send out this tweet before not get too behind on the chat. No burn-in on the iPhone 10. How did I come up with the idea for the channel, Triple J there? I just started making review videos of gaming headsets a few years ago and was just kind of doing it because I don't know, I had spare time for a number of reasons. And I was playing a lot of PS4 with some folks online and just decided to start checking up on the started to check out a lot of the different gaming headsets that were out there, the cheap ones, the expensive ones, and kind of trying to figure out which ones were the best ones. And suddenly people started watching the videos, and so I just kept doing it as kind of a hobby, and that's where I am here now. So Akilesha, is that how you say your name? I hate to butcher people's names, but my V30 Plus that I have has been it has the blue shift the same as the Pixel 2 XL. It's the same screen, and I've seen it without the blue shift, and I've seen it with really bad blue shift, and I can only assume that it's a quality control kind of thing. Well, Mr. Formidable, it's a my new camera got broken tonight. I dropped it trying to mount it on something, which is very sad, very frustrating. I still haven't figured out how to make the how to make the titles of the live streams be accurate with what I'm titling the live streams, if that makes any sense. Perfect smartphone video is coming later this week. I was working on my What's Wrong with Apple video this evening, and I just wasn't happy with what the first take, so I was trying to set up for a different take, and I dropped my camera and it messed up the lens. Very frustrating. So Dimitri, I thought and tried and just couldn't figure out how to get $5,000 for the iMac Pro. I really wanted to get one, and I saw other tech YouTubers have started to get theirs, and it just, I couldn't. I'm not at a point where I could scrape together $5,000. So what I did was I bought myself a 15-inch MacBook Pro, and so I've been using that. And so far, you know, anytime you transition from one computer to the next, it starts to it just makes things really difficult. Yeah, you have to get all of your stuff all in the right places, and I haven't quite made the transition yet, and it's really frustrating me. Am I gonna review the S9? Yeah, I think I'd like to. If they make a sort of plus model, I'll definitely check that out. And I have not had time really to look at any of the rumors or leaks or any of that regarding the S9 or anything else right now. This Christmas season has been pretty busy for me, and then the past couple of months have been super busy as I tried to make as many YouTube videos as I possibly could. And when you're a one-man show, it really takes a lot to just keep up with everything, I guess. Exemplar, what should I come on about? Hey, Thor's, thank you. The best true wireless headset for the Xbox One, I would say probably you'd have to start with something like the Astro A50. Those headsets are great. They're not perfect, but they're great, and they sound great, and they're right now at Best Buy. I noticed tonight the Astro A50s are on sale for like $240. They're usually $299. So that would be you know, the best deal you're going to get on the A50 right now. Are you, Akalisha, are you talking about the blue? I don't think they can fix the blue on the screens for the LG V30 or the Pixel 2 XL. I just think it's something about the way the screen is made, and it's just not gonna work. Ryan, thanks, man. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Yes, Dimitri, I would love to get. I don't even want to talk about it. I've been watching unboxing videos and all these people talking about the iMac Pro, and actually part of the video that I was working on tonight, this sort of what's wrong with Apple, is really has turned out to be mostly about their pricing structure and how they milk money from people so effectively by making their products, you know, like their base models just almost good enough but not quite, so you have to upgrade something. Anyway, it's just really frustrating. What is that, Flames? or flames. My thoughts about the DAC, the iFi DAC that I reviewed versus the V30. I mean, the iFi DAC is better than the V30 DAC, but it's hard to compare a phone against any phone with any DAC against something purpose made like the iFi DAC. But the thing about it is, if you just judge the V30 on its own merits or against any other phone with a headphone jack, the V30 absolutely destroys every phone with a headphone jack on it, anywhere, anytime. It sounds so much better. It can drive the lower impedance headphones that need power to sound good. So, you know, a purpose made DAC like the iFi DAC or anything that you might grab off of Amazon or something like that, they're never nearly as convenient as I've got a DAC in my phone, and it sounds great. So, I think if you need a DAC at your desk and you don't need audio inputs and you just want to be able to listen to a good headphone sound, the iFi, or there are a bunch of other DACs out there, sound great, but yeah, it's not easy to compare the V30. Okay, Ryan hates to ask, but the iPhone 10 is on my list of things to get. I'm torn between the 8 Plus because of the screen size. Yeah, I hear you. I actually have a 6S Plus right now. And as long as you get a brand new 6S Plus, it's going to work. You know, this is the whole Apple slows down older phones because their batteries start to degrade. They're slowing down iPhone 7 and 7 Pluses now as well, which on one hand you could say, hey, that's a benefit for the consumer. They are not going to have their phone shut off on them when they shouldn't. But since Apple didn't tell us they were doing that or why, it is problematic. Because they didn't say, hey, you can get the battery changed for $79, or hey, you know, this is why we're doing it. You know, it's like you got three choices: get a new battery, get a new phone, or deal with your slower old phone. But back to your question. Your question was about the iPhone 10. If you like the bigger phone, the Plus models are still very satisfying. I have the like I said, I got a 6S Plus right now, and I like the larger size. It's not as it doesn't use the size as well as the iPhone 10 does, of course. The 8 Plus is a really great phone as well, and it could be a great phone for several years. The benchmarking scores and how well it works, I mean, it's all the same stuff as the iPhone 10 without the design and the OLED screen and the face scanning and all that stuff. Exemplar, no, I am not using the iPhone 10 anymore. It came to a point both with the iPhone 10 and the Note 8 where I had both at one point. And that was like almost $2,400 worth of smartphone, and I just had other stuff I needed to invest money in, so I knew I could get the majority of my money back for the X, and I got it, and then I traded the Note 8 in for the iPhone 6S Plus. So maybe I'm crazy, but maybe not. Discord server is on my list. I'm not working this week, and you know, through the weekend, and then the first couple of days of next week. So I'm going to start working on the Discord stuff, and I'm also going to try and start doing stuff like working with trying to find other things to give out. You know, I don't know if you guys know, it's like I've written novels, I have music, I have all kinds of stuff, a bunch of stuff that I could give away if anybody cares. But, you know, tech is what this is all about. So I don't know if anybody cares about the tech or the novels or anything like that. Music. I'm trying to read and also talk. It's not easy. The 2019 phones. Well, the thing about the S versions of iPhones is that they are sort of always the more perfected version of that iteration of the phone. Like the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus are really the 7S and 7S Plus, and that's why they are so solid. So in 2019, I mean, I have no idea what we're going to see at this point. I've been trying to think about what we're going to see in the future, what the big trend for 2018 is going to be, excuse me. So yeah, it's so that's what I think. I mean, I think the phones are going to be solid next year. Red Dog. Okay, so first person shooter on the PS4 gaming headset. Oh man, it depends on how much money you want to spend. You could get the Cloud 2s or the Alphas for less than $100, and those things are awesome. You could go all the way up to the A40 or the A50 or something in that price range, and really do well. So yeah, Ryan, I don't know if you've heard all about this, but Apple has started throttling older phones like the iPhone 6s, 6, and now 7 with iOS 11.2 wherever we are now. And Geekbench actually caught them in doing this. They showed that the Geekbench score that they were getting for like multi-core, the multi-core Geekbench score was actually half of what a new iPhone 6s would be. Like, I get over 4,000. So I did a Geekbench score on this guy, and let's see if I can pull it up here, what my results were. And so I got a single core score of 2512 and a multi-core score of 4408. And at this point, Apple is throttling older phones down to where they're getting in the 2000s for the multi-core score, so they're half as fast. So random stuff, OLED versus QLED. I just did this because I got myself a new TV. So OLED is a different technology than QLED. QLED is still LED with backlight and everything like that, but Samsung has really done a lot with you know, fine-tuning how sharp they can make the pixels and everything else. And the QLEDs really do look good. But I bought an LG 65-inch B7 as a little Christmas gift to myself and my family, and I have never watched a better TV than that. There's just nothing better. So yeah, I mean, on sale, the 65-inch B7 was $2,400, which is crazy, but you know, it's an unbelievable television. Exemplar, yeah. So I did return 2 of the biggest flagships of the year to get the 6S Plus. And the 6S Plus works great. I noticed that it's a little bit slower than the newer phones, just by virtue of it being 2 chips behind. But, you know, there is a reason that I got it, and it is what Super Flame's brother was talking about. It's that I wanted to have a headphone jack, and I couldn't get it on anything else. I couldn't get it on any other iPhone, so I went with the 6S Plus. I thought about going with the SE, but I just didn't think I could work with a phone that small as my daily phone. So let's see, Dimitri. Yeah, I can do a little setup tour that includes my guitars and stuff like that. I mean, I kind of rotate through guitars. I have one guitar that a Martin D15 that I bought probably in like 1997 or 98, and that's the guitar that I had done a ton of recording with and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, but everything else kind of rotates through. But I can definitely do a tour of that stuff and let you guys know what I'm using. My main electric guitar right now is a 2016 Gibson SG Standard with P90 pickups, and it's probably the best electric guitar I've ever played. So earlier today, somebody asked me if I was going to do a follow-up of the Epiphone SG that I got, and I just happened to find this SG with P90 pickups, and it happened to be the perfect guitar, so I returned the SG, the Epiphone SG. Yeah, Ryan, if you want to send that link, I got no problem with that. Cody, it's good to see you, my friend. Welcome. Red Dog, yeah. I think you could probably go with the A20. I haven't had a chance to pick one up. It's $149. Haven't had a chance to pick one up to review yet. But if it's anywhere near as good as the A10 and it has the mic from the A10, then it's going to be really good for $150. But Ryan says he's going to throw up a link for something for you. How cold is it in Iowa City right now? Let me check. So I got a 6S Plus, and then I also got the stupid expensive Apple Watch. I've got until January 15th to return all this stuff. So it's 4 degrees in Iowa City right now. High of 7, low of 4. I haven't been going outside all that much. Cody, yeah, I mean, I haven't made... there are some music videos from a few years back that I made. Just me playing in front of the camera. Some covers and stuff. But I don't... Once the tech thing for this channel started to take off, I just didn't really want to confuse things by doing music on this channel. And then, you know... it just seemed to be like people got confused and that kind of thing. So, thoughts on the G6? The G6 I have not used myself, but everyone who has used it has been really impressed, and you can get it for pretty darn cheap for a flagship phone. LG's release schedule is completely out of whack, and they don't know how to market their phones. This is the problem with LG. They make some really good phones, but the G6 came out like right after the S8, I think. But you know, so it got completely lost in S8 and S8 Plus, and then the V30 came out right after the Note 8, and nobody paid any attention. So yeah, I think Ryan, sometimes the chat doesn't allow. Oh yeah, so it came out before, but it was like, right on top of that Samsung launch, and they didn't advertise it, and within 3 months it was like $500 instead of full price. So $200 in Canada. But I guess isn't $200 in Canada like 150 American bucks? I don't know. It's very, I get it though. $200 is too much. Check out, if that's too much for you, check out the Turtle Beach wireless headsets that came out, the 600 and 700 stealth models. Those were pretty good if you're looking for true wireless. So, Naracia, no, I don't watch anime. I've seen the big movies of years before, like Akira, that kind of stuff. But I'm not an anime fan. LJ Rand used to live in Marshalltown. Yeah, my adopted son lived in Marshalltown for a while, and yeah, my wife travels all over the state for her job. I don't travel as much, so I've been through Marshalltown, but not to Marshalltown and that area. Yeah, LJ Rand, I keep thinking, like, do I need a phone if I have this? As long as I don't have any problem, like, talking to my wrist, can I do that? So I don't know. It's a cool watch, but man, it's like 6 months of $70, or buy it outright, and then I don't know. It's a lot. I don't know that I need more than what just the standard Apple Watch is, but this was there, and there was some kind of deal, and so I decided to try it out. So, do I think the iPhone X was ready for prime time, given some of the shortcomings on the hardware side, or should Apple have waited until 2018? That's tough to say. I mean, I actually think that the iPhone X launch, I expected it to be a lot worse than it was. I expected there to be like major problems with Face ID, or major problems with some part of the functionality of the phone, and Apple would have to really sort of drag themselves through it. But by and large, other than the hiccups along the way, they released a pretty good phone straight out of the gate, which is surprising to me. So I'm trying to roll through here and get to people's comments. Lucid Sound, Charles Owens, talking about the Lucid Sound stuff. They had like the Lucid Sound 20s in my local Best Buy, and I expected to start to see Lucid Sound stuff showing up in local retail shops like Best Buy or GameStop or whatever, and I just haven't seen him, and so I haven't pulled the trigger on reviewing. There are several gaming headsets that I want to still review, but I just haven't had the chance. I mean, the phone stuff kind of took off and took over for a little while. I'm trying to get balanced back out, but I've heard that the LS30s and the LS40s are really good. So yeah, I would love to check them out. A while back. I tried to contact the company about getting a review unit and got no response. But that was when I only had like 5,000 subscribers. So maybe they'll throw me a bone now. Who knows? Cody, you're trying the A20s. Let me know what you think of them. Drop me a note or something like that, because I'm anxious to know what they sound like compared to the A50s. I mean, I know the A50s are going to have more bells and whistles, but the A20s seem like they might hit all the right points. Red Dog, yeah, it's one of those things where, like, with the 600s, they weren't. I'm not a Turtle Beach fan. I think if you go back and look at my Turtle Beach videos over the course of the years, I have not been kind to them. They are getting better. They are making their headsets with better materials. They're more sturdy, all that kind of stuff. And I still think they lag a little bit behind in terms of sound. So Astro is winning right now. Maybe Lucid Sound is too, and as well as HyperX. I mean, HyperX, if you're talking wireless or wired headphones, I'm sorry, HyperX is really hard to beat. If you can deal with plugging that cable into your controller, then the HyperX stuff is really great. The alphas are really, really good, like real headphone quality. I use them to listen to music at my gaming PC, for that matter. Super Flames. Yes, I do remember when the iPhone 8 Plus started splitting because the battery was expanding, and I thought that was going to be a major gate, but it seemed like it was pretty isolated. So they stopped doing it, and nothing like that happened with the 10. So I don't know. Yeah, Cody, I can't blame you for waiting a year. I think it makes sense to sort of leave a year in between different phones. I don't think you're going to get a lot more performance out of the well, the 10 is a totally different beast, and so it's a very different phone, but and so a totally different experience. But going from the 7 to the 8, there's no reason to do that unless Apple slows your phone down. So there's that. Yeah, Ryan, yes, I do game. I also bought myself an Xbox One X as a family Christmas present. And I've got a PS4 Pro, I've got a gaming PC, but honestly, I have not had time to play very many games since the YouTube channel started doing better, because it just was like I was always making videos. I made 25 videos in November, and that was taking up all my time for quite a while. But I just got Battlegrounds on the Xbox One, and something about that game scares me. But I played some with my kids on Christmas Day, and I think I'm gonna get into it. So I'm very stealthy, so I think I'll do all right. Favorite song? Man, I have literally thousands of albums. I can't pick a favorite song. uh, you'd have to narrow it down, Hector, to like a genre or a decade or something. Um, I'm the Beatles are my favorite band ever. I think you probably could have surmised that from my tattoos and such. But I don't know that I have any one particular favorite song. So LSI said these new phones that don't have a dedicated headphone jack still have a wired headphone jack. Is it really different? Can you still use wired? You can still use wired headphones. This is true. However, I don't think that the quality of what you're getting out of those dongles is what you can get out of a decent set of headphones. I need to do a test to see. Here's what I'm going to do. I've got my iPhone 6s Plus. It has a headphone jack. I'm going to use one of the dongles that I have for the Lightning jack, and I'm going to A/B test and see which one sounds better. That's not a scientific test, but that's what I'll do. I'll do a video trying to figure out if one is better than the other. And I've heard that the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL, that there's actually a DAC inside the dongle. This was the future that I hoped for, that with the electronics sort of being outside of the phone, we would get hi-fi DACs included in our dongles. But it hasn't really started out that way. And I tried to set up Bluetooth Lightning headphones, the Philips ML2 or something like that, and they were not good. There's a lot of possibility for headphones in improving the DACs by having them in the headphones and that kind of thing. But the problem is there's a lot more money to be made in wireless headphones. And so nobody's making wired headphones anymore. And it's a sad, sad thing. So any decent phone lying around? Let me look. Still got this V30 Plus. I got it on Sprint. I canceled the Sprint service. They're supposed to send me a box to send this back. But man, this is a nice phone. This is a nice phone. And if I were to have a flagship right now, I think this would be the one. Just because it ticks all the boxes for me. But I would have to get one that doesn't have the blue. I keep waiting for them to drop the price from $850 or whatever it is down to something more reasonable, because I want to keep my monthly payment down, since I will be getting a bunch of phones over the course of the year, and it just doesn't make sense for me to have my daily phone be something that's like super expensive if I want to put that money someplace else. So yeah, Cody, on the whole thing, on the whole PUBG thing, I watched my kids play a few rounds. I played one round. I got to like 54 or something, but that was mostly because I spent most of my time in one big house, like looting that one big house, and then I started to move when they make you move, and somebody shot me out of my little dune buggy, and that was the end of it. I'm gonna play more though. That's part of my goal for this little vacation that I'm having for the holidays, is to play more games. So we'll see how that goes. You know the thing about Red Dog. You know the thing about surround sound. If you this, you know, PlayStation is starting to get left behind a little bit by Xbox now that Xbox has Windows surround available. So you can get, if I'm not mistaken, some kind of surround deal when you use the A10 with the Xbox and have that Windows surround turned on. I haven't tried it yet. So what is this Razer dongle? I gotta find the Razer dongle and try that, because yeah, if it has a DAC inside, I'd like to check that out. Yeah, Battlefield 1 was my game there for a while. I played Battlefield 4 for like the better part of 2 or 3 years, almost every day. And Battlefield 1 just never quite got up to that level. So I'm not a big sports game guy. I mean, I love sports, but I don't like playing the games as much. I don't know. I'd love to play Rainbow Six, and I just don't want to pull the trigger on it because I don't have a bunch of time to invest into it. $20 on the Razer side, I might have to check that out and see what they're peddling, because that sounds like a good deal. So are Beats? So Exemplar is asking, are Beats worth the hype? I will say this: the Beats of today are so much better than the Beats pre-Apple. The Beats of today are really pretty good. And everything from the Beats X, the Solo 3s, I haven't tried the new studios yet. They all sound pretty good. And, you know, I wouldn't be bummed out to have any of them. So there's that. Yeah, Red Dog. If I get back on Battlefield 4, like I got a clan that I play with a bunch, and I just haven't been hooking up with them for, you know, as YouTube got really busy second half of this year. All my gaming spare time just went away, which was kind of a bummer. But I you know, maybe I can get my schedule a little bit more settled. And, you know, because, like, I was trying to do a video a day during the time that everything was, like, getting really busy and hyped up. And that kind of eventually, after a couple of months, wore me out. So I need to find a way to not kill myself and make videos, maybe like 3 a week, do a live stream, something like that. So that is to say, I want to get back into playing games and having some more free time. Yeah, Cody, I saw that Best Buy sale and wanted to grab a set too, but I had just spent a bunch of money on other stuff from Best Buy. So I didn't do it, and now they're back up to $350. One thing I'll say, I do not think the Beats Studios are worth $350. Hey, look, there's a spider. You see the spider? This just came down and is hanging out here. I'm going to drop him on the floor. There we go. He didn't do anything. I'm not going to kill him. Ryan asking, currently on AT&T, soon to be on Verizon. Yeah, I was on AT&T for a long time and was generally pretty satisfied with them. And we've been on Verizon for about a year and a half. and I've been generally pretty satisfied with them. The one thing that I liked about AT&T is that if you wanted to pay off your devices, you could pay off like $100 if you had it, or whatever. But Verizon requires you to have all the money to pay off your finance device all at once, and that's really tough, because when do you have $700 just sitting around? So that's the only thing I would say. I hope money's coming, man. That would be great. I could always use. Well, now that I broke my camera lens, I guess I need money to buy a new camera lens. I'm using my sort of B camera that's also broken but still works. It just doesn't read SD cards, so I use the Elgato Cam Link, which is one of the coolest things I've ever purchased. It works really well, and I'm very impressed by it. On 20 euros for unlimited data, calls, and texts. Man, that is cheap. That is cheap. I don't even want to talk about how much my bill is, because I have several devices on there, several different lines. It's some of the devices I don't have anymore, but I just haven't paid them off. It's just, I don't want to think about it. 20 pounds, 20 euros would be great compared to the hundreds of dollars that I pay right now. Yeah, what is this Mint Sim, man? I've been hearing about that, but I haven't checked it out. Ryan, they don't do leases like Sprint does, and that's one thing that I was not super excited about with Sprint, is that you don't really own the phone if you go for that lease thing. It's a little bit of a bait and switch kind of weird thing. So LSI, I am not going to I am not going to give up on YouTube. I really am having fun doing it. I've always had fun doing it, but since I've gotten more people checking out the channel over the past few months, it's like it was just really satisfying to sort of see that work that I'd been putting in for a couple of years before that start to pay off and start to get people come in. And I assume that stuff will kind of go up and down. And so, yeah, I kind of, well, Ryan, you could still finance a phone like the 0% down, like they do at, or the 0% interest, and you just pay the taxes when you get the phone, just like you would do at AT&T, and not have to come up with the money right up front. The only difference is if you want to pay off your phone, then you have to have the full amount when you go to pay it off, and that's just kind of I liked AT&T allowing you to pay it off bits at a time. Jaden, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Cody, off to the gym. Man, you're making me feel bad. I've been not going to the gym for a while, and I need to, because I'm getting older and I need to be healthy. But have fun at the gym. Talk to you soon, man. I could not go to the gym at 11 o'clock. Like, if I don't go to the gym in the morning, I'm not going to the gym. That's just how it works. So Uncle Sam has you working all night. I don't even want to know what that means. City Protector, thanks for being here. 5:10 a.m. is either quite early or quite late, depending on how you want to look at it. So thanks for stopping by the stream. Appreciate it. Exemplar, I don't blame your wife for giving you that look. Have a great New Year coming up as well, and tell your wife thank you for allowing you to thank you for allowing you to like sit here and listen to me talk for a while. See, okay, King Carlos, they told me like when I went to the store that I couldn't do it. So maybe I do need to call and talk to them about that. So I've never heard of Go Smart. Is that one of those like old people networks? Yeah, I haven't checked out Destiny 2. I got the first Destiny and just didn't get into it. And so I haven't checked out Destiny 2, but it does seem like it's better fleshed out and a better game than Destiny was at launch. So that's something. So military. Okay, that's cool, man. That's cool. Well, enjoy your day, enjoy your workout, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't trust the stores. I don't trust any store, but the wireless stores are the worst. It just seems like they have very unqualified people advising people to buy really expensive stuff and then rely on that stuff every day. So I usually when I go into the Verizon store, the AT&T store, I know more about the phones than anyone that I've talked to. And that I don't know, that just kind of scares me. But I guess I do spend a lot of time talking about them, so there's that. But yeah, I guess I have this problem. I hate to talk on the phone. I hate talking on the phone so much that I never answer the phone. Is this weird? Like I'm here on YouTube live chatting with people from across the world, but yet I won't answer the phone. So I never call customer service. I never do any of that stuff. I just go to the places, and maybe I need to start calling customer service a little bit more. So Jose Ramirez, what's on my iPhone video, man? That would be boring. There's nothing exciting on my iPhone, but I will do it if people feel like they would watch it. Yeah. And Ryan, thanks for the offer to troubleshoot on the Android side. I'm usually okay with it, but sometimes I'll have to reach out to the community. So 4 solid years on Destiny, 90% of the time. That's a lot. Yeah, I may check out Destiny 2 one of these days. Your dad yells a lot. Yeah, is it that thing where they think since they're talking into a mobile phone that like people can't hear them? I hate phone etiquette is a thing. I like have you guys ever experienced this thing where people talk on speakerphone when they're just out walking around. So it's I don't understand it. Like, I don't want to hear you talking in the first place. So I also don't want to hear the people that you're talking to. I don't understand that at all. So it's just very bizarre. So Jaden, you had a friend who managed an AT&T store, and he said they used to push Android installment plans because they would get commission. Yeah. I always suspect that there's some kind of like, I guess they probably call them bounties on certain phones. If you're working at a place like that, just something Arab dads do. Okay. Okay, well that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I understand. Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Super flames. Um, but yeah, I think that a lot of phone places have bounties on particular phones at different times, and so they'll try and push them out, and they'll get a little bit of something. It works that way in a lot of different retail outlets. Best Buy, it's weird. I got to know some folks at Best Buy, and Best Buy will say like, "Oh, we're not on commission," and blah blah blah, but they do keep track of who sells what and what gets returned and who sold it to whoever and all that stuff. And so people still get kind of, they can be called out for, their numbers being this, that, or the other thing. So Joshua, you have the 6S Plus and Lightning earpods to play music when plugged into the Lightning port. Yeah, what I want to try is taking a decent set of headphones, like even just these like Sony NDR V6s, and plugging them into the headphone jack, trying that out, and then plugging them into the dongle that comes with the non-headphone jack having iPhones, and see what that sounds like. Because really, that's when people say like, "Well, you get the dongle, isn't that good enough?" I really don't feel like it is, because I don't think it sounds as good. But I haven't done like a real back and forth test, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a video of it, and I'm going to share it with all you good folks on YouTube. Yeah, man, Jaden, Best Buy is really one of those places where I shop at Best Buy a lot. I live here in Iowa, and the nearest Apple store is in Des Moines, and that's almost 2 hours away from me. And yeah, the majority of them do not know anything about the products that they're selling. The problem is, like, if you are an experienced Best Buy worker, you'll learn your stuff. But they seem to go through people like crazy. So it's too bad. Yeah, I've gotten phones from Best Buy a couple of different times, and they are, I don't know. I'm an older. I'm 46 years old, and when I have to trust some kid who is still in college to set up my tech, it makes me a little nervous. But that doesn't mean that it can't be done. But it just makes me a little nervous. You know what I mean? Best Buy is a weird place. I remember when I was younger, there were like stereo shops that were sole proprietorships, like local person owns the stereo shop, and man, those people, you would go into that stereo shop and they might have 3 or 4 different kinds of speakers, 3 or 4 different kinds of amplifiers, etc., etc., but they would know everything that you needed to know about that stuff. And the days of being able to shop for tech in that way are just over, which is, it's just sad. Um, Best Buy, by and large, sells crap. Um, if you're paying a lot of money, then yeah, you get a good product, and that's just the way it goes. Um, but you know, if you're wanting to buy like stereo equipment or anything like that, Best Buy, it's just terrible. What they sell is terrible. Which do I prefer, Android on the Pixel or iOS 11? Um, that's hard for me to say. I mean, there's lots of stuff that I like about Android, and lots of stuff that I like about iOS, and I've probably spent more time with iOS than Android. Um, and once I get an iOS phone sort of set up the way I need it to be set up, everything works really smoothly, and it's just good. I always feel the need to fiddle around with the Android phones, and I never settle into any one thing. So, Paul, I don't doubt that I could trust you. If you're here at this time of night talking about tech on a YouTube live stream, then you have totally dedicated yourself to being a tech nerd, and I appreciate that, because I too have done the same thing. So Ryan, you used to tell people just to call after they got their phones. Um, yeah, it's I've done a couple of times where I got a phone delivered, and then had to do that. It's a lot easier now than it used to be. I will say that. 1, 2, 3, 4 skiing, man. You are working hard to get around the nasty message catcher. Red Dog, which headset for gaming on the PS4 has great sound and comfort? Again, man, if you're talking like $100 to $150, and wireless is not a definite thing that you have to have, Astro's stuff is really, really good. Um, so I would go that direction. If it's wireless, I think it's pretty hard to beat Astro for the wireless stuff. Yeah, Jaden, I kind of had a similar experience. Like, I sort of went into the Best Buy a couple of different times and talked to a few different people, and and everybody gave me like different, totally opposite advice, um, and it was really frustrating. I'm the kind of person, like, I'm still really impatient, and I don't want to wait for the thing that I buy. So Best Buy is usually the place that I go to get stuff. Amazon Amazon is, I've done a lot more Amazon these days than before. But yeah, when you try and talk to them about like specs of a computer or something, and it's clear that they're just grabbing stuff out of their rear ends, and you know that they're doing it, and they know that you know, it's kind of frustrating. Um, Let me scroll down here. 1, 2, 3 skiing, man. Why are you being so? I'm gonna show this so everybody can see how mean you are. It's just not nice. What is it about, like, smartphones have become so useful, so like they can do so many things that talking on the phone actually becomes less of a thing to do on the phone. Uh, like I'd happily text more than talk, uh, and that's just the way it is. Yeah, camera stuff is the Paul that I the camera stuff. I don't trust anybody. Like my Best Buy doesn't normally have anybody actually working in the camera department. Like the guys from the TV section come over and cover the camera department. So I just go in and tell them what I want, and maybe maybe I can get them to fix my lens. That would be nice. So your mom got a Mac. It feels weird to use. Well, if you are mostly a Windows person and you move over to the Mac side of things, it would be weird for sure. Um, I started out on the Mac. My first computer was like I think it was a Mac Classic 2, something like that, and it was like one of those little boxes with the tiny screen and a floppy disk drive, and that's what I learned to. That was the first computer that I had in my house to use, so that's what I learned on, and it was pretty. And so I've been mostly a Mac person over the years. I have a gaming PC. I have used Windows in at jobs and all kinds of different stuff. I don't have any problem with Windows. I can get around. I can troubleshoot. I can do all the stuff that I need to. But there's still something about the Mac operating system that really works for me. Um, Now, like I said earlier, I'm making a video about the problem, like what's really wrong with Apple, because it's a weird thing. On one hand, they're making money hand over fist. They're the hugest company in the world, but there's still things like super screwed up about how they do business. And so I'm going to talk about that. That's the video I was shooting when I broke my camera. And I'm doing this live stream just basically so I forget that I broke my camera. Yeah. Jaden, I hear you. When you don't get what you asked for and you knew just what you wanted, that is pretty annoying. I wonder, like, can I? Yeah, I'll do this. Bye, Skeen. I just blocked him. I'm all for free speech and everything, but kind of annoying. Yeah, it's weird. Like the texting thing is weird for sure. Am I going to try any smart speakers? Asks Krista White. Yes. Um, my daughter got me that little Google like mini home thing. I have an Amazon Echo, and I've got a couple of other Bluetooth things. I haven't dug deep into those kinds of headphones because the way that I like to listen to audio, I like good speakers and like that whole experience of like sitting down and listening to music. And I just find that I can't get that experience from Bluetooth speakers or any of those things. So yeah, Windows 7, man. They still have Windows 7 on some of the computers at my workplace, and it's not good. Ryan, man, good talking to you. I think I'm gonna wrap it up too here, you guys. Just because I'm starting to like cough, and that's no good. But thanks to everybody for stopping in, and I'm going to be doing this more regularly, hopefully once every week or two. I'm also going to do streams specifically for Patreon folks, so I'll be able to sort of have more of a conversation with just a few people. So if you're interested in that, you can support the Patreon for like as little as $1. But anyway, I'm not doing an advertisement here. Appreciate you guys being here, and Dimitri, Super Flames, Ryan, all you guys, thank you so much. And I will have a video up tomorrow. Somehow, some way, I've got this other camera. I can get it done. Talking about Apple and what the heck is wrong with them. Until the next time, guys, very much appreciated, and I am out.